In the far reaches of space, beyond the war-torn nebulae and fractured alliances, a galaxy once united in purpose lay shattered in silence. For centuries, conflict had scorched its stars, and even memory trembled under the weight of betrayal and fear. Once vibrant worlds became tombs, civilizations flickered out like dying embers, and diplomacy became a forgotten language. And then came the humans. Not with fleets of warships or technologies unknown, not with demands or ultimatums. They came with something far more dangerous: empathy. The great galactic powers laughed, at first. How could a fragile species, barely interstellar, offer anything worth listening to? The humans had no fleets, no claim to ancient relics, no godlike AI or planet-breaking weapons. All they had were stories, songs, sorrow, smiles through tears, words spoken not in conquest, but connection. And yet, something began to shift. It started with a planet called Veskar 9, home to the Kalari, whose people had not spoken to outsiders since the Great Silence. A single human envoy, named Mara Lynn, sat with the grieving matriarch of Veskar. She didn't negotiate. She listened. She cried. She held the trembling hands of a species that believed no one could understand their pain. But the humans did. They had lost too. Not to plasma fire, but to time, to greed, to each other. And somehow, that made them relatable. From there, the chain reaction was irreversible. Empathy became a language of diplomacy. Tears became truth. And emotions became the most powerful tool in the galaxy. Not all accepted it. The Sorth Collective saw emotions as weakness. The Zharn dynasty believed control was strength. But they couldn't deny what they saw. Enemies forgiving each other. Worlds once locked in civil war, now rebuilding. Children of once feuding empires laughing together under twin suns. The humans didn't conquer. They connected. And as Mara Lynn's story spread, so did the stories of others. Human diplomats trained not in law or politics, but in compassion and psychology, stood in rooms filled with centuries of hatred and reminded everyone of something they had forgotten. They were all alive. Not programs, not soldiers, beings with hearts. And for the first time in centuries, the galaxy remembered how to breathe. Of course, healing is never linear. There were setbacks. On Zarnath Prime, a summit broke into chaos when a Sorth general mocked a human for showing emotion. The human, instead of reacting with anger, played a recording. It was a lullaby. The general stopped. She recognized the melody. It was the same tune her mother had hummed in secret after the fall of her own world. She never knew it was human in origin. Silence followed, and then she wept. Across the galaxy, such moments began stacking like constellations, each one small, quiet, but powerful. The galactic accord wasn't signed with fanfare. There were no trumpets, no parades, just a circle of delegates from every major faction, sitting in silence, hands on their hearts, eyes closed, remembering. Forgiveness doesn't need ink, it needs intent. And the accord held, not because of laws, but because of understanding. The humans became something more than diplomats. They were storytellers, healers, living bridges. They didn't erase pain, they validated it. They didn't silence rage, they let it speak. And in doing so, they changed everything. Long after the humans returned to Earth, the galaxy still remembered. Not their ships not their tech, but the way they made people feel. In a galaxy broken by power, it was emotion that rebuilt it. And it was humanity, imperfect, emotional, chaotic humanity, that showed them how. Because the greatest weapon in the universe isn't destruction, it's connection. And in the end, it wasn't the stars that saved them. It was the stories told beneath them.